So I am going to recommend, if you have anything resembling blocks, that you have them. I'm going to endeavor to actually use them tonight. If you don't, that's fine. Like sturdier throw pillows would work. Potentially a book, just kind of depending on what we do. Books can be heavy for this purpose. And then come down to child's pose. So give yourself a stretch out, really kind of plant your hands down there and then sit back on your heels and allow your head to rest down to the mat and just relax. You don't want to create any tension in here in your shoulders, so I often just let my arms just kind of melt into the mat. It is completely up to you whether you work with your knees together or apart, but just have your big toes together. If your knees are together, you'll round your spine over your knees. If your knees are apart, you'll tend to have a more elongated spine. Neither one is right nor wrong. And then just begin to take some nice deep breaths, breathing into the back body. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Allowing yourself to sink into the mat. Feel the lungs really expand, and if your chest and abdomen are on your thighs, you even sort of will feel some pressure there against your organs, which is not a bad thing. You can enjoy that as you inhale, holding the breath for a moment. Exhaling, release it. If you've got any thoughts in your mind, just exhale and let them go. If you have any negative thoughts, any stresses, any illness, any sadness, see if you can just let it completely go. Just give it into the earth here and bid it adieu. But if you have more neutral thoughts or good thoughts, that's fine, but you don't need them right now. So just place them beside your mat to come to them later. Perhaps you want to set an intention for your practice. You can do that now. So we're just going to begin warming up, extending those hands out in front of you, lifting your head up so you're sort of peeking in between your hands, and we're just going to rise up and then immediately lower down through onto the mat into a cobra. Press into your palms, lift up just a little itty baby cobra, and then push up and back to that child's pose. So doing that with the breath. As you inhale, you come up kind of as little as you can. You can even scooch along the mat if you want. Releasing back all the way into the mat as you exhale. Inhale to cobra or baby cobra, pressing up. Exhale, child's pose. So moving with your breath to rise up on the inhale. Exhale to release. Inhale to cobra, keeping those hips in the mat, shoulders down, elbows back. And experiment with this. Again, you can almost just creep along the mat. Chin stays really, really low into the mat, snaking your way along. Or you can stay more lifted and work on that move from that modified plank down to the mat. Work through one more, and then the next time you get back out onto the mat on your belly, go ahead and just stay there. Once you get there, just release all the way down. Hands are right under shoulders, squeezing the feet and the legs together. Chin is on the mat. And we're just going to inhale and exhale as we press up and lower. So as you inhale, you're just coming up to baby cobra. Exhale, releasing back down. So you are pressing lightly into your hands, but you're not pushing really high up. I want you really thinking about using the low back muscles, using the gluteal muscles, using the breath, and not relying so much on your arms. Inhale to press up. Exhale to release. Last time, press up and hold it for a moment. So again, you can be real low. You can be down here. If you want to press more deeply, if you want to extend your spine longer, you may. You decide. Anywhere along here. Shoulders pulling away from the ears, elbows back. And release that all the way down into the mat. Bring your forearms under you. We're going to come up into a plank from here. So forearms on the mat, palms they can either stay parallel, or you can bring your hands together into like a prayer position. And press up. You can either do this from your toes or drop down to your knees in a modification. Take some nice deep breaths, inhaling, exhaling. We're going to add some movement here. So you might find you need to walk your feet a tiny bit closer, and you're just going to press up. I just like my feet a little bit closer, not much. And then back into that plank. Pressing up, so it's sort of a modified dolphin. Inhale, back to plank. 2 more times. Exhale, pressing up, hips lift. Inhale, back to plank. 1 more time, hips up. And release down, and just drop the knees and lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands under you this time, so palms on top of your thighs. Roll your shoulders really under you, under the mat. Squeeze the legs together, chin on the mat. And then just lift one leg up, and your hand can help if you want to push it a little bit higher, but your chest stays down. And release that leg, and lift the other leg. Doesn't matter which one you do first. And lower down, raise the first leg again. Holding each one for a couple of breaths, long inhales and exhales, and release. And the last leg. And release, and then lift both legs, squeeze the glutes together, squeeze the legs together, press up with your hands a little bit, chin stays on the mat, hold for a breath, and release. Bring the hands back under the shoulders, push up and back, come back to child's pose again. Sitting back on your heels, releasing the head down to the mat. And coming up onto hands and knees. We're going to do a twist here. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, left hand behind the head. Inhale, exhale to twist towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, exhale, thread the left arm under the right, let it hover, and then twist up again. So we're going to keep moving, exhaling through each twist. So it's an inhale through center, exhale to twist, inhale through center, exhale to twist. One last time, twisting towards the ceiling. And then this time, let that arm reach down onto the mat. Let your temple come onto the mat. So it's your left arm on the mat, your left temple, your left cheek. Extend your right arm in front of you and then square your hips. You'll find you'll push your hips here off to the right. Bring your hips to center. Really stretch that right arm out in front of you and let the weight of your body come down onto the left arm, and take a couple of breaths. And then slide the right hand back, push yourself up, come back to all fours, other side. Right hand behind the head, inhale, exhale to twist. Inhale through center, exhale, extend the arm. And again, inhale, exhale, twist towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, extend. Nice long breath. It's hard to breathe in both of these twisted positions, and that's okay. It's good for the lungs. And the next time you extend the arm through, go ahead and release it down onto the mat. Right arm onto the mat, right temple or cheek onto the mat. Extend the left arm in front and then pull your hips back to center. They'll tend to push out left this time. And take some breaths here. And then slide that left hand back, press up onto your hands and knees again. Extend the right leg behind you, belly button pulls in, pressing the heel away, so you're really lengthening through the leg. Bending that knee towards I don't know what's going towards what. You're just bending the knee. The only direction your knee can bend. Holding here for a moment. And we're going to bring it through and press back up. Here we're trying to keep the spine stable. Bring the knee towards the chest. It won't reach the chest. And press back up. So it's just like a pendulum, but it's swinging with control. We're just working that hip joint a little bit. And then the next time you bring it through, see if you can bring it all the way through and plant that right foot down. Pressing yourself up, bringing your hands to your heart. We're going to twist. Left hand either comes to the top of that thigh or it comes all the way across. Turning and looking right, keeping your hands in the middle of your chest. Breathing into this. And releasing back to center, come up. Here's a good moment you might find that you want your blocks. We're going to come up to a runner's lunge. So the reason you might want to block, you want your knee over your ankle, everybody. If you look, my hands reach the mat easily and my back is fairly long. I'm not bent and stretched over. If you find that this is where you are, it's helpful to have the blocks. So once again, you can lengthen through your spine. Okay? So you decide, and again, it could be anything. It could be hands on water bottles, hands on a small child. No. Well, you'd have to have two. If you have small twins that want to support you under their heads, then that's fine. Gently, please. Press back to that heel in that runner's lunge. And then release the back knee down, rising up, bring your hands behind the front knee, and then press forward. So we're opening the hip flexor. Still think about lifting through here. It's like someone's pulling you up, but of course gravity is bringing you down. So you're lifting up, but you're also driving forward. Shoulders are rolling down away from your ears, and the gaze is maybe slightly towards the ceiling. Just opening the throat a little bit. Good, release that down to the mat. Step the right knee back, so you're on hands and knees. Scooch those knees back so you're in modified plank. Lower down, chest to the floor, chin to the floor, then the hips hit the floor. Lift the chest up, coming to cobra, and then press back to child's pose just for a beat. And then rise back up to all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Extend the left leg this time. Again, back is long, belly is in, spine in neutral. You're looking right on the floor in front of your hands. And then bend the knee, keeping the knee at hip height if you can. So you do need to engage some muscles for this to happen, or your leg would just drop down without arching through the back. So it's not dropping the chest, right? We're keeping the chest parallel to the floor. And then bring that leg through and press it back up. So you are sort of swinging, but it's not tons of momentum. It's really intentional here. So you're using some core work, you're working through that hip joint. And then the next time, bring that leg all the way through, plant it down, and press up. Hands to heart center. Bringing the right elbow across the right thigh or binding it all the way down. Again, notice your hands. They tend to walk up here to the armpit. Can you invite them back to the heart center? Press against the thigh with your elbow. Turn your gaze towards the ceiling. Breathe into the twist. And then release down. Again, hands can find the blocks. Curl the back toes under. Press up to runner's lunge. Again, checking knees over ankles. If your foot is way back here, it's an easy fix. Just walk it forward. Press back through the heels. There should be quite a lot of energy in both feet. It's called a runner's lunge. You could take off and run from this position, right? which is why if you need to be more lifted, that will give you more power. And release the back knee onto the mat. Rising up, hands behind the front knee, hinging forward. Again, staying lifted. This is one of those poses where our body is sort of working in opposite directions. So on one hand, you're driving forward, but we don't want to drop and sink. So at the same time, our head is being lifted up, our chest is being open. So we've got this sort of diagonal forward thing happening and this diagonal backwards thing happening. And that's creating a stretch through our back, through our hip flexor. Release the hands to the mat, curl the toes under, step back. Option to come to modified plank this time. You can stay on your knees. Modified plank. Option to come to full plank. You can come to your knees and come to modified. And then come on up to down dog. So if for some reason down dog isn't appropriate, just stay on all fours. Anytime we're in down dog, anytime you need a break, go ahead and come to child's pose. So in your down dog, press into your palms, press your heels towards the mat. They might not make it. If your knees are bent, that's okay. You want to work towards straightening them, but for a lot of people, it does not happen right away. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. And we're going to come back and forth from plank to down dog. So we're going to inhale out into our plank. Exhale, press back to down dog. 2 more. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Last time, inhale plank. Exhale down dog. And walk the feet towards the hands, letting yourself hang over here. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Little bit of a bend in the knees. We're going to rise up halfway. Hands are going to come to the shins, not to the knees. Extend the spine, flat back. You're looking on the floor in front of you. Knees are straight, but not locked. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, on your next exhale, release back down, let the spine round, soft bend in the knees. Inhale, slide back up, halfway. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, slide up, halfway. Exhale, fold over, and this time drop the hips, really bend the knees, and restack, rolling up 1 vertebra at a time, till you come all the way up. Deep inhale, extend the arms up overhead. So as you extend the arms up, pull the shoulders down away from the ears. I'm going to turn so you can see from back here. If you scrunch your shoulders up by your ears, you create a lot of tension up here. What I want to create is strength. So pull the shoulders down so you're engaging the back. It's a bit more open. And now there's not nearly the tension through here, but you're actually working. Good. Bring the hands to the shoulders. Roll the shoulders one direction. And roll the shoulders the other direction. Good. Shake that out. Finding a neutral position. Standing at the top of your mat. So feet right under hips. Standing tall, shoulders are down and back. Noticing the pelvic positioning. We don't want to tilt our pelvis down, creating this curve in the spine. We don't want to tilt our pelvis up, shifting our hips forward. Find neutral, belly in. Turning the palms out. And bring your chin back towards your chest. Notice if you tend to stick your chin out and pull it back here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. Take an inhale to extend the arms upwards. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Good, so we're going to do some modifications of Surya Namaskar. Not really full sun salutations. Next time you inhale, inhale up. As you exhale, release forward, folding all the way down. Inhale to that halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Hands find the floor, the mat, or the block, so you can step the right foot back, coming to that same lunge that we did a moment ago. And then press yourself up off the blocks or off the floor into a higher lunge. And we're going to do the same twist we just did, but from here. You can always drop the back knee down if you're falling over, if you need the support. So bringing the right hand across the thigh, or like on the thigh, or all the way across it. Turning to the left, looking up at the left shoulder. Keep pressing back through the right heel. Lengthening that right leg, twisting through the spine. Take a deep breath. And again, if you're wobbling, either drop the back knee and or wobbling like that, and or drop the right hand to the mat, and you can twist there. You keep the hand on the hip, arm can extend. Good. Everybody rotate down, hands find the floor. Push back up into the lunge, hands at heart center. So notice that the knee is over the ankles, not tracking forward. Inhale, extend the arms upwards, again, pulling shoulders down and back. And then open this up to warrior two. So the back foot plants at an angle, front foot stays where it is. Hips are open, shoulders are pulling down and back. Deep bend in the front knee. We're gonna straighten and bend, that's it. Moving up here, and then bend back into it. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, never tracking out over the toes. Just opening up this hip here, creating some movement in the hip. Last time, bringing the left arm across that left thigh. Turn the body so you're really open through the chest. Nice deep bend in that front knee. And then if you want, extend the top arm. Anybody who wants can take this down to the floor as long as you can keep this openness of the chest. Another option for the hand is to bring the hand behind the head, and then you can push into the hand. It really helps to rotate you and open your chest. Good, press that back up, extend the leg. Bring that right arm behind the body, flip the left palm, reverse triangle. So you're really opening now through this side body, sort of pushing those ribs out, taking a deep breath into them, really stretching that left arm overhead, creating space. And release that, opening out. Turning the feet parallel, a little bit closer together, but still pretty wide stance. And forward fold into this. Release the head. Again, nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Grab hold of either calves or ankles, or if you can reach your toes, grab your toes with your peace fingers, and then pull your body downwards, trying to bring the crown of the head to the floor. Take an inhale and an exhale. Good, and release that. Pivot back. So the front foot is back at the top of the mat, and press yourself up. So this is another good moment for blocks. I'm going to bring the blocks up to the front of the mat. As always, I'm like sliding towards you. I just love you so much, I want to be close. Bringing the blocks beside that front left foot. Back foot is at a slight angle. And the front heel, if you were to draw a line, the front heel would hit somewhere around the top of the arch of the back foot. More or less on a balance beam rather than train tracks. And hinging or bringing the hips forward so the hips are square. Good, so we're going to hinge forward here, long spine, and find hands on blocks. If you haven't got blocks, you can just bring your hands to your hips, okay? Don't bring them to the floor, it's too far. So hands are on hips or hands are on blocks. Gaze is out in front of you. And now focus on this back hip. This right hip will tend to open out. See if you can pull it forward so that your hips are square. If you have your hands on your hips, you can sometimes feel that. Are your hands square? Are they even? Taking a breath here in your pyramid. And then pressing up. Bringing left hand to the hip, bringing right arm up. We're going to come to a Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle. So you're going to hinge forward, same thing we just did, but now bring this right hand across and find the block next to your right pinky toe. It can be at any level. You can also bring the hand all the way to the floor here. That's fine, if that works better. And then turn your body, angling the left shoulder towards the sky. And then if you want, extend the left arm. If you fall over, that's okay. This is a hard posture, a lot of balance involved. Good, and release that down. Just move the block so it's out of the way. Step the back foot forward, forward fold, and let it go. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Give yourself a shake, bend the knees. Straighten the legs, slide the hands halfway, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bending the knees, drop the hips, roll yourself all the way up, restacking, 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 deep inhalation. And exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to come to the opposite side. No, I guess I'll stay here. I was trying to not have my back to you, but I'll have my back to you some of the time either way, so I'll stay here. All right, refocus yourself. Take an inhale, extend up. As you exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, hands find the mat or your blocks, and you step back into that high lunge. Knee over ankle, pushing back through the left heel. And then press yourself up to lunge, hands at heart center. Same option as before, you can always drop the back knee. You can also always plant a hand in front. We're going to twist, elbow either comes to the top of the thigh, you can stay right there, or it drops against the thigh, again, hands stay at the heart center, and turning and looking up towards the ceiling. Trying to keep pressing through that back heel so you really lengthen that back leg. Or bending the knee and bringing it all the way to the mat is fine too. Long, deep breaths. And press yourself up, extending the arms, driving back through the heel, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Opening this up, warrior two. So in our warrior, our gaze is forward, but everything else is open in front. So we're not pulling the left hip forward, the left hip is opening. Knee is over our ankle. And you're really active through your arms here. You can just be kind of spaghetti arms for my Dirty Dancing fans, or you can have really strong, powerful arms. Patrick Swayze arms, if you will. Jennifer Grey got there in the end. And we're going to extend the front leg, bend the knee, extend, and bend. Extend, bend. One more time, extend, and bend. Side angle bend, right arm comes across the body. Again, keep that chest open. So even if you're right here, this is fine. You don't need to go any deeper. If you want to go deeper, you can release into it. You can bring that hand all the way to the floor or to the block. That top hand can extend, or it can come behind the head to really open the chest. Imagine you're between two panes of glass here. There's not a lot of space. You have to make yourself narrow. And then press yourself up, straightening that leg, maybe walking that foot a little bit closer. Left arm behind the back, front palm flips up, reverse the triangle. Good, opening that back up. I am just going to turn around so my back isn't continually towards you. And step out wide, feet parallel. Hinge forward with your hands on your hips this time. Stop halfway. Think about pushing your hips back a bit here. your weight is more in your heels than in your toes. Flat back, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. And then bring your hands to the floor, and again, if they don't reach, that's what the blocks are for, hands on the blocks. And you can really actually extend them out so you stretch through your spine here. And again, hands can come to the floor. If you separate your legs further, it'll be easier to have your hands find the floor. You do what's comfortable. There's no right or wrong here. It's just meant to stretch you. And depending on the surface of your floor, you might actually be able to slide a bit and just release into it. Again, let the head go. Can you still nod yes? Can you still shake no? Good, walk those hands back. And press yourself up, pivot back to the front of the mat. You're gonna have to step that back foot forward. I'm gonna get my blocks ready by my front foot. So the back foot, is that an angle? Oh, I know why I'm opposite you guys. I was like, why do I have the wrong foot for it? I need to turn this way this time. So your right foot should be forward this time. Make sure you got right foot forward. All right, bringing hands to hips. Both legs are straight for pyramid. And we're gonna hinge forward. Keeping the left hip from rotating back, keep it square. And then your option, if you have blocks or something on the floor that you can put your hands on, but they've gotta be pretty high. So it would have to be maybe a water bottle, stack of pillows, something like that. Otherwise, hands on hips. It's just a little harder to do it with your hands here because you're supporting yourself more. Breathing in, breathing out. This is actually more comfortable. And then press yourself up. I'm gonna move that block out of the way, won't need it. Right hand on hip, left arm extends. Pardvita Trikonasana. Extending forward, hinging, 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 reaching, bring that left arm across the body, find a block, the pillow, the floor, whatever you're working with. Turn your body towards that side. The hand can stay on the hip or the arm can extend. Of course, your chest isn't going to totally open to that wherever you're looking, the back of the room for me. But the idea is that you're rotating, really pulling this right shoulder, rotating through that chest. Good, and bring the hand back, rotate back around. I'm going to just move those out of the way and press myself all the way up. Step the back foot forward to meet the front. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees so you can grab hold of your big toes. Straighten your legs as much as you're able. Let your head go. Pull the crown of your head downwards. Bend the knees further. Hands find the mat. Step one foot back. Step the other foot back. Bring your toes together and open up your knees and then sit back on your heels, stretching the arms forward in a resting warrior actually. Take a deep breath. 1 or 2 breaths. Walk yourself up. We're going to come out to frog pose, I believe this is. Depending on the surface of your floor, sometimes something slippery is a bit better because it kind of helps you slide. But just get so it works. It doesn't matter at all. My pants will actually slide on this rug. We want to separate our knees as wide as is comfortable. Hands again. Sometimes being up on a block is helpful here. Otherwise, forearms can find the floor. Opening up as much as is comfortable and then sitting back as much as is comfortable. So the idea is to feel a stretch, but not hurt yourself. So sink into this and just decide where is right for you. Sometimes a little movement like I'm doing is good. Sometimes having arms up on the block feels nice. If you're more lifted, you can even just sort of be on your elbows. There is no right or wrong way. But just take some breaths. This isn't for a lot of people. If you have tight hips like me, this is not the most comfortable posture. So breathe through it. Inhale and exhale. You don't want to be on a hard surface because that obviously isn't going to feel great on your knee. So if that's the problem, adjust. And if you find that you're cheating forward and not getting so much of a stretch, press back, open up. Two more breaths. And then carefully bring those legs back together. Sitting up, bringing your knees and your toes together. If this doesn't work on your knees, you can sit on a block here. You could sit on 2 blocks, just makes it a bit more comfortable. Extend the arms up overhead. And we're gonna lateral bend. So either arm, let it drop down to the side, stretch up through the other side and bend over. I'm just gonna turn. Stretching through that, just like before, pushing through the ribs a bit to open up. And that arm can slide out away from the body. Let the shoulder drop down away from the ear. Turn the head up towards the sky. And press up. And over to the other side. Let that arm walk out. Take a couple of breaths. And press up. If you're on a block, come down off of it. Legs extend out in front. All right, so we're gonna do a few different stretches here, one leg at a time. If any of them don't work, skip it and do one of the ones that does work, or just modify it as need be. So we're gonna bring I'll work in mirror image to you. Your left foot up against your right thigh. So you wanna try to keep your hips square. Let that knee drop down a bit. We're gonna extend our arms up and we're gonna reach forward, forward, forward. So here, I like to reach that left arm across to either the calf, the ankle, or the foot, and then release the head down. If that doesn't work, you just wanna let the arms drop by the side, or if you're up higher and you're here, totally fine. Take some deep breaths. Try to let every breath let you sink a little bit more. And pressing yourself up, cross that leg over. Sit up nice and tall, and we're gonna twist. So left hand's behind the body, right arm is hugging that knee, or maybe coming all the way across. But make sure you're sitting tall. We don't want to be leaning into that arm, right? We want to sit nice and tall, opening through that shoulder. Good, twisting back to center, taking that same leg, tucking it behind you. So you want your knees more or less in line with your hips. If it's bothering your knee, you can open it out a little bit. If it just doesn't work for you, repeat the first stretch. And we're gonna inhale up, and we're gonna release down. If you're not so flexible, the blocks can sometimes be helpful here. Hands can rest on blocks, forearms can rest on blocks. Try to flex your foot. It will help lengthen your hamstring and create some flexibility there. And bringing yourself up. We're not holding this for super long, so we're gonna do 3 altogether. Extend that first leg, so both legs are out. Inhale, exhale. 2, release forward. So same thing here. You can just let the arms drop, head can release. If you've got more flexibility, you want to deepen the stretch, the block can go by your feet. If you've got less flexibility, you can be up here. You can even be on blocks here. And bringing yourself up. We're going to do those same ones on the other side. So bringing the right leg up, high on the inner thigh, keeping the hips Square to the front. Leg is sticking straight out in front. Inhale to extend up. Exhale to reach forward. So again, I like to come across the body on this one a bit. It sort of opens up the side a bit more. The other thing you can do on all of these, if you have a strap, a regular belt, a yoga belt, a towel, that can also be super helpful. Props are not crutches, props are tools. Don't ever feel like you can't use the prop or you shouldn't use the prop because it somehow means that you're not good at yoga. First of all, there's no such thing as being good at yoga or bad at yoga. It's a practice, not a competition. So you can sometimes get better effects by using the props. And you don't have to spend tons of money. Most of us have belts at home. You can use any belt. T-shirts work pretty well. Towels work great. And bring yourself up. Take that foot, cross it over the extended leg, sit up nice and tall, and then bring the right hand behind, hold on with the left, and twist. If you've got the flexibility, you want to bring that arm all the way over, that's fine too. Just again, make sure you're not leaning back into that arm. If twisting here with your arm on this side of your leg messes up your spinal form, you're not getting the benefit. Just release and come to here. What we're trying to do is twist the spine. Good, come back to center, bending that knee, bringing it behind you. Again, if it doesn't work on this side, just come to the first stretch. Try more or less to have knee in line with hips. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, hinge straight forward, letting the head go. Long breaths when we hold these stretches. And bringing yourself up. Got a block. Take one block, open your legs out wide. Sometimes it helps to literally move your gluteals out from under you. See if you can sit up tall. If you find you're slouching and rounding, sitting on a block, sitting on a pillow, something like that will help lift you because you want to be nice and tall. Start vertical. Bring that block out in front of you and hinge towards it. Maybe, again, I'm going to turn this way. It's just easier for you to see me profile. Nice and tall. And then maybe you come to here. And that's your flexibility. And that's fine. Breathe into it. As you get more flexible, you hinge from the hips. You keep the back long. Notice I'm not curving my spine. You bring the belly down towards the mat. Toes are still towards the ceiling. Working your way down, 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 using the breath. And just sit and hold here for a moment wherever you are. Try to find comfort in it. Let the mind just go. Let the breath go. Just pause. Just hit pause. And then press yourself up. I'm going to turn back towards you. Okay, the last one we're going to do is a little bit more flexy. So if it doesn't work, do the first one we did. So legs are extended. We're going to start with the left leg. So your option is just to come here, leg against the thigh. If you want to work on a little more flexibility, bring that foot up on top of the thigh, like a pigeon sort of position, figure four. That knee is going to drop towards the mat. Don't force it. And then from here, hinge forward, but be aware of your ankle, okay? As you come forward, there's gonna be weight on your ankle. So take an inhale, stretch up. Don't press too far down, don't hurt yourself. Let yourself go. And if you're like, yeah, no, this doesn't work at all, just let that foot come down. This is preparation for sitting in lotus if you're working on lotus or half lotus. So it opens up the knee, it opens up the hip, it opens up the ankle, gets all the joints of this leg. Discomfort is okay, pain is not okay. If you're in pain, come out of it. If you're in discomfort, see if you can breathe and release the discomfort. And press back up. Okay, Uber challenge bendy move. Take this left leg and bend it back. So you've still got the foot across the thigh and you've got that left leg behind you. See if you can tilt forward a little bit to let that front knee come onto the mat. And then we're gonna twist here. So we're gonna twist, we're gonna bring the left hand to the knee or onto the floor, even under the knee, and the right hand behind our body, or full expression, you bind, you hold your foot. So full expression looks something like this, but you can be anywhere in between. Your hand could be here on the block beside you. You could have a hand on thigh and hand on block. You could have the foot down here. If it isn't working at all up there, it can be here. Okay, don't break yourself. Bend, don't break. One more deep breath. And release back to center. Left side. Left leg extends out. Right leg comes across the thigh. And again, let that knee start to open down to that. Some of you are going to have no problem. It's going to drop right down. Some of you are going to be way up here. If it doesn't work, bring it to the floor. Take an inhale as you extend up. And exhale as you hinge forward. Again, be cognizant of your ankle. Don't force it. Long, slow breaths. And bringing yourself up. Option, tuck this leg behind. Again, still option to drop that foot onto the floor. Sitting up, bringing that hand leaning forward. The hand finds the mat or maybe the top of the thigh. Ideally, that knee comes to the hand. And then we reach that hand around us. So it can just come here on your waist. Again, if you have a belt, if you have a t-shirt, you can help bridge the gap if you're not binding. This is a spinal twist, right? So that's the most important thing. So if you're all contorted, trying to hold your foot, don't worry about holding your foot. Worry about sitting tall and maybe your hand's just hanging out. It's okay. I sometimes just like to show you these ones just as something fun. And you're like, that's not fun, Monica. And come back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let them come out from the body just a little bit. Let them flop open, sitting up tall, and then hinging forward, letting your head drop down. And bring yourself up. Even though I call this my more beginner class, I like to still challenge you because I also want this class to not just feel beginner for those of you who aren't beginners, but feel like it's just giving you more of a stretch. And sometimes that means slightly more advanced bendy postures. So people who are newer, just go with it. Do what you can do. All right, come on down to the mat. All right, again, gonna give you something to do with the block. But if you don't have it, you can do this without it. You can do it without anything. Or you can use a cushion. So belly button in, knees, ankles, feet, hips all in one line, chest towards or chin towards the chest, shoulders roll down and back, and we're going to tilt the hips up and we're going to come to shoulder bridge. So you can obviously just stay here like this. You're just going to be working harder. If you're here, try not to let the legs go. In fact, this is why I said have two blocks. If you want, you put a block between your knees and you have to engage then to keep yourself lifted. If you have a block and you want to make this more of a stretch and less of a muscle, like a engagement of your muscles, a stretch of your back, you bring this block under you. So it can go here at the slowest level. That doesn't give me much of a stretch, but it might be good for you. You can turn it on its side. This is good for a lot of people. It opens the chest, opens the back, but isn't like overdoing it. If you want, you can bring it up on its highest end, which is really going to give you a deeper stretch. Just find the point on your back that actually works. There's no like right or wrong. I have it long ways, but if you want to turn it this way, you can do that too. It's just not as stable for me. If you've got old wooden blocks or cork blocks, sometimes this is a lot less comfortable. These foam blocks are lightweight, so it's more comfortable. And then release. Those of you who are not supported, if it becomes tiresome, separate your feet and let your knees knock together. This doesn't feel great the more you're lifted, but if you're in a neutral position, just let your knees fall. The idea here is to be comfortable. This is not supposed to be painful, so make yourself comfortable. And take some deep breaths. Do like 3 to 5 breaths here. You can close your eyes if you want. Wherever you are, you're opening your chest and shoulders here, opening that low back. If it's hurting, it means you need to lower down. You need to come to less, like if you're way up here, drop it down a notch. And then if you're lifted up yourself, just lower yourself down. If you have a block under you, go ahead and release that. Draw the knees into the chest and give yourself a massage, rocking side to side. Coming to happy baby, grabbing ankles or feet, continuing to rock side to side. And then extend the legs long. Bringing one hand to your abdomen, right about your belly button, bringing one hand right at your solar plexus, at your heart center. Let your shoulders drop down, let your elbows drop down, close your eyes. We're going to practice a 4-part breath, and you've just got your hands there for feedback. If that's not comfortable and you just want them down by your side, that's fine. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. If you prefer not to hold the breath, then just do inhale, exhale. So you're going to inhale through the nose, feeling each hand rise. You're going to hold it. You're going to exhale through the nose, feeling each hand fall, and hold it. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Take a deep inhale. Let your hands come down by your side. Purse your lips and slowly blow it out through your lips. When all the air is gone, take another inhale. Slowly blow it out. And then once you've done that, just resume normal breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, allowing yourself to relax. Each inhale drawing in relaxation. Each exhale allowing yourself to sink more deeply into the mat. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath. Watching the inhale, watching the exhale, until you're just relaxed. No thought, no worries. Begin to deepen the breath again, taking full inhales again, feeling the belly expand and the ribs expand. Allow the breath to begin to energize you again. Begin to reawaken fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Drawing your knees towards your chest, roll yourself onto your side, pausing there in the fetal position. We began our practice in child's pose. We finished in corpse pose. And now coming to the fetal position, getting ready to come again, refreshed and revived. When you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. And bringing your hands palm to palm, thumbs in the center of your chest, sitting up tall, eyes closed. Take a moment to check in with yourself.